Imagine standing at the edge of a dark forest with nothing but a sharpened stick. Somewhere beyond the firelight, branches crack. Your heart begins hammering. Your muscles tighten. Every part of your body tells you to stay close, stay quiet, and absolutely do not investigate the suspicious growling noise. That reaction is ancient. But so is the decision to step forward anyway. Ancient humans did not survive because they stopped feeling fear. A fearless human would have lasted roughly as long as a curious sandwich near a cave lion. Fear kept them away from cliffs, predators, poisonous animals, hostile strangers, and whether that could kill without warning. The real problem was different. Survival often required doing the exact thing fear warned against. Leaving shelter. Crossing open ground. Hunting large animals. Entering caves. Defending children. Approaching fire. Trusting unfamiliar people. So how did ancient humans learn to control a system designed to control them? The first answer seems obvious. They simply became tougher. Except biology does not work that way. Natural selection did not remove fear because fear was useful. The people who noticed danger had an advantage. The people who panicked at every shadow had a different problem. They wasted energy, abandoned opportunities, and sometimes endangered everyone around them. What mattered was not less fear. It was better fear. Your body still carries the basic machinery. A sudden sound can trigger attention before you consciously understand it. Stress hormones prepare movement. Breathing changes. Blood is redirected. Memory searches for anything resembling the current threat. That system is fast because hesitation can be lethal. Unfortunately, it is also crude. It would rather mistake wind for a predator than mistake a predator for wind. Ancient humans could not switch this alarm off. They had to train it. One method was repeated exposure. The first time someone approached a dangerous animal, entered deep darkness, or stood near uncontrolled flames, the response may have been overwhelming. But repeated encounters could teach the nervous system something crucial. Fear does not always mean immediate death. This was not a motivational speech delivered beside a tasteful prehistoric waterfall. It was learning through survival. A young hunter watched older people move. A child learned which sounds mattered and which could be ignored. Someone discovered that trembling hands could still grip a tool. The fear remained, but its meaning changed. The archaeological record gives one hard anchor. In 2012, Francesco Berna and colleagues reported burned bone and ash plant material inside Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, dating to about 1 million years ago. The burning occurred far enough inside the cave that ordinary wildfire was an unlikely explanation. That evidence does not tell us exactly who made the fire or what they felt. But imagine the psychological shift. Fire was naturally terrifying. It moved, roared, burned flesh, destroyed landscapes, and attracted attention in the darkness. Controlling it required approaching the danger, feeding it, preserving it, and learning its behavior. Fire did more than frighten predators. It created a boundary. Beyond the light was uncertainty. Inside it was a place where fear could be shared. And shared fear behaves differently. A person alone hears a noise and imagines everything. A group hears the same noise, compares reactions, remembers earlier encounters, and decides what to do. One individual may panic. Another recognizes the animal. Someone else adds wood to the fire. Fear becomes information instead of command. That may have been one of humanity's great advantages, not courage as an individual trait, but courage distributed across several nervous systems. Then tools changed the calculation. Repeated group action also gave fear a rhythm. Prepare the tools. Check the wind. Watch the others. Move on the signal. A sequence of familiar actions reduces the number of decisions made under stress. It does not make danger smaller. It keeps the frightened brain from having to invent a plan. In 2025, Jared Hudson and colleagues published a revised age for the wooden hunting weapons from Schöningen, Germany, placing the famous spear horizon around 200,000 years ago. The site includes carefully shaped weapons and abundant horse remains associated with repeated human activity. A wooden spear does not erase fear. A horse can kick, crush, or outrun a human. Large prey can turn a hunt into a medical emergency before medicine exists. But a weapon creates distance. Planning creates predictability. Cooperation creates backup. Suddenly, fear can be divided into jobs: watch, approach, drive, throw, pursue, butcher. Think about what that requires. Hunters must control breathing, wait for the right moment, follow signals, and resist both reckless attack and premature escape. Panic spreads quickly through a group. So does calm. This is where the simple story falls apart. Maybe ancient humans never deliberately trained fear at all. Maybe they were merely following routines. Maybe tools, fire, and groups reduced danger so effectively that emotional control was just a side effect. That skeptical explanation deserves weight. Archaeologists do not recover courage. No fossil preserves the moment someone wanted to run but stayed. A spear proves technology, not bravery. Burned material proves fire, not a prehistoric therapy session. Modern people also romanticize danger from a safe distance. Hunting a large animal sounds heroic until you remember the parasites, broken bones, blood, and extremely limited customer service. So the evidence cannot prove a single moment when humans learned courage. But routines are precisely how emotional control often works. In 2014, Jason Bull and colleagues combined results from dozens of brain imaging studies on cognitive reappraisal, the act of changing how a situation is interpreted. They found a consistent pattern. Control regions in the frontal and parietal brain were recruited while emotional responses, including activity associated with the amygdala, were altered. Ancient humans did not know those names. They did not need to. A growl could become a clue. Darkness could become a place already explored. A dangerous animal could become meat if approached with the right people and the right plan. Pain during an initiation could become proof of belonging. A frightening journey could become a story with remembered landmarks. Language likely strengthened this process. Once danger could be described before it arrived, people could rehearse it. They could warn children, explain tracks, imitate predators, retell failures, and turn one person's terrifying experience into everyone's preparation. Stories may have served as fear simulations. The monster enters. The careless person dies. The clever person notices the missing birds, changing wind, or strange silence. Long before written manuals, a remembered story could teach the body what to expect. Ritual may have helped too. Repeated movement, chanting, touch, familiar objects, and the presence of others can make uncertainty feel structured. That does not mean every ancient ritual was designed to control fear. Motives rarely survive. But predictable action is powerful when the world is unpredictable. An ancient life was brutally unpredictable. A wound could become fatal. A storm could erase shelter. A familiar trail could contain strangers. A child could vanish between one tree and the next. Fear was not an occasional inconvenience. It was part of the environment. Yet constant panic would have been equally dangerous. Humans needed a middle state, alert but functional, frightened but coordinated, cautious but still capable of leaving camp. That is probably what they learned. Not how to defeat fear, but how to place something beside it. A tool. A plan. A fire. A story. Another person. Bring that back to you. When your heart races before a difficult moment, your body is not malfunctioning. It is offering an ancient warning built for cliffs, teeth, darkness, and uncertainty. But the other ancient system is there too. You name the danger. You rehearse. You look toward other people. You take one controlled step while every alarm insists that standing still would be safer. At the forest edge, courage was never silence inside the body. It was moving while the branches still cracked.